Me want to be alive. I need to see the world around me. I wanted to know how to love again, but I know not what it means to feel the heart of wrath, the snake's venom, the snake head which is attached to the hold of life. The goddess of wrath has 6 arms. 1 arm is a snake. The other 5 are skateboards, each holding and wielding a teenager who knows not what it means to be me. They all have fury, and they all dream death upon me. I will never escape this world, and it is my world to live, and no one else's. Please run. Run away. Run away from me and the suffering that I have brought upon myself. Welcome to the Matt Hawker Show. I'm Matt Hawker, and we have another exciting episode brought to you by STDs. That's right. Come on down to STDs, where once you go, you'll keep coming back because you'll be limited from other restaurants. That'll be the only place you'll be able to go to get food. Other restaurants won't have you there any longer. It's a very sad thing, actually. And if you go to the doctor and tell them that you went to STDs, they're going to have nothing but bad news for you. It's very unfortunate. They do have half-off appetizers. One of my favorite half-price appetizers they offer there is actually the herb peas that they offer. A nice pea blend with a sprinkling of herbs that I really think you would enjoy. The herb peas. You could tell your doctor you had some of those. You could also tell your doctor that you had the supple leaves, syphilis. I'm just reading it off the list. The menu. You could also try the hepatitis. The hepatitis, the half-off appetizer at the STDs. There's also syphilis. That's an appetizer there. It's a sip of your favorite leaves. Sip of leaves. And of course, who could forget the half-off appetizer classic, Gonormita. They also have really good crabs there. Really, really tasty crabs. Those are delicious crabs over at STDs. The restaurant is actually owned by Wacky Larry. Actually, it's a bit of a chain, to be frank with you. You'll find STDs throughout the nation. More on the West Coast, you'll find Wacky Larry's STDs and Helicopter Duplex. That's over on the West Coast, though. On the East Coast, it's pretty much STDs. You can come on down, bring the whole family, have a big old helping of STDs. It's good stuff. Can't recommend it enough. Definitely try this out. Again, the half-off appetizers are great. They're only served between 5:30 a.m. and 5:39 a.m., so be aware of that. Good stuff. Definitely recommend it. Try it out. Anyway, today on the show, wow, man. Today on the show, sup? What's going on?
Yeah, just sitting in my closet.
Wow. That's okay. Thank you. So that's, hold on a second. I just, hold on.
Good ambient sound.
Yeah, I was inspired by Picasso's Mona Lisa. Let me just take you with me here on a journey, because there's a lot of things that I want to figure out, and I know we don't have a lot of time. I know you're a busy person. You're always doing crazy things. What are you doing here? Why are you here right now?
I'm here right now because I have started 3 of my own podcasts and never actually edited the audio, and since you're the
Mhm.
one editing the audio, I was like,
Mhm.
sweet, somebody else can do the hard work.
Oh, okay. That's fair. So what are you all about? Tell me about yourself. Let's get into the person, the real you, the Zitgeist of the conversation today.
I turned 30 and I was afraid I was going to die really soon, so
Mhm.
I figured I'd better do all the things that I was afraid that I wouldn't have time to do. Like, like you ever imagine that you're like old and you're dying, and you ever imagine
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like
Well,
every day actually.
yeah. Right. And it's like all the things that you're like telling your grandson, like, "Oh, you should do all of these things that I didn't do because I had too much going on." I love it. That's awesome. Yep. Yep. Now I'm thinking about fair pigs, and they didn't even have them at the fair this year because of
I
the illnesses.
Well, that doesn't seem fair.
No.
But let me ask you a real question here. And this is sort of a more intimate question, so don't take this the wrong way. But let me just be real with you. This is a serious question. This is a serious question of the heart. So, of the four horsemen of the apocalypse, which do you think would be the most eligible bachelor? Let's
Yeah.
gossip a little.
Yeah, you're gonna have to tell me who they are. Who are the contenders? Because I'm not off the top of my head aware of which.
Yeah, sure. So the first horseman is horse, and the second one is four, and the third one is horseman, and the fourth one is pestilence.
It's pestilence, definitely.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Mhm.
But what makes him so eligible? Is it just the fact that he's pestilence? Like no one wants to be with the pestilence guy?
Yeah. I think it's the fact that he's an SAT word. I think that's probably it.
Like
But,
that's
ladies like smart guys, so.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know anything about ladies. I didn't
Mm.
even know ladies existed until this conversation, to be honest with you. I've been trapped in my I don't know where I'm. Hold on 1 second. Oh God. That was rough. So let's get into some science then. You were talking about ladies. That just reminds me of biology, nuclear physics, rocket science, English, geometry, the basic sciences of the four corners of the world, which is a cube and flat. Are hot peppers still hot if it's eaten at a room temperature, or is it just a room pepper?
Yeah, it just depends on the seeds.
Like, what do you mean by that? Like the seeds
Yeah,
are
if you get
different?
the seeds in your mouth, then it doesn't matter if a seed is cold or a seed is hot. It's still spicy.
Well, then so why don't we just call them spicy peppers?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm really confused by the sweet pepper and the spicy pepper. I feel like they should be different fruits and vegetables, or if they're vegetables. I don't know. Are they fruits?
I
I think they're vegetables.
This isn't the Fruit Hawker show, Becky, so maybe you shouldn't ask such silly questions,
I'm just
okay?
no, that's a deep question. All right.
I mean, I don't really think we're that deep in. Okay. So I'm going to humor you. Let's say that's a deep question. Let's go down that path. Okay, fine. So this deep question of yours, what's the answer? Go ahead.
That's the point. It's a question.
Well, no. I mean, what's the answer to the question?
Yeah, exactly.
No. You got it. You have to answer the questions on the interview. Oh God, this is going off script now. Like we had a whole thing planned out. You are just improvising this, and it's getting ridiculous. And
Well, I'm trying to follow the path and, steer you back to the script. So.
Oh my gosh, there's no path. There's no dirt. This is all. Okay.
We're just floating out in like darkness, out in space. It means nothing.
Oh my God, I'm gonna pee myself in a second. This is just ridiculous. Okay, look. All right. Do you think the currently socioeconomic conditions will lead to further splitting of the middle class? What can you weigh in on that?
Yeah, I don't know. Public school sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of middle class people go to public school. So
we should just burn them down. We should just get rid of public schools. I mean, really, who's using them these days?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they are free, so that's nice.
That's true. Do you, I remember when I was a kid, I had like an 8-class curriculum, and I thought, where was the middle class? Because, that's, you'd have to have an odd number to have a middle. You know what I mean? You know where,
Yes.
You get what I'm saying here?
Yes. And homeroom is number 3. It's not number 1. That always
Right.
like freaked me out.
Man, I've been freaked out for years by that myself. I have nightmares of homeroom. Usually like an older man comes into my room wearing a bag and he calls himself homeroom and he just beats me and does unspeakable things that I gotta be real with you. I don't think I've been able to get past that.
He calls himself homeroom.
Yeah, he just calls himself homeroom. He's like, Daddy homeroom is here. Close your eyes, bucko. And he says bucko really loudly. He goes like, bucko, like that. And it's I gotta say, it's really, it's rough.
You must have had homeroom at the end of the day. That's what threw you off.
Yeah, probably. I think that actually explains it pretty well. So, do you think we should maybe then, just sort of stemming off of that, do you think that the moon really is, I don't know, do you think it's like kind of a drug? Do you think we could like snort moon dust? I mean, is that a thing?
If it was, we would be back there like already all the time.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good. That's my favorite sound, actually.
I want to talk to you guys about, and this is a personal subject for me, maybe not so much for you. I want to talk about Thanksgiving. Now, a lot of people get together and celebrate Thanksgiving. It is a beautiful time where families look into each other's eyes and pretend they love each other. And there's something really nice about that. Just getting with someone that you were raised with and is frankly your own flesh and blood, and seeing all the things you don't like about yourself in them. It's extraordinary, really. Thanksgiving is a time that I think it's important to note that really it's about forgiveness. It's about forgiving Native Americans for just giving up their land so easily to white people. I forgive you guys. You just sort of handed it away. I mean, you got infected with a bunch of diseases and you unfortunately died off due to the armies of white colonialism. I mean, I forgive you for doing that. I forgive you. It's not your fault, So if you're listening to this, just pat yourself on the back. It's okay. You didn't do anything wrong. It wasn't your doing. It was everyone else's. I want to forgive the pilgrims for making their homes in the swamplands and dying off during the winter. I forgive you guys. That was unfortunate. I don't think you knew what the swamps were all about, and I don't think you recognized that my good old buddy Swamp Amigo was just sitting around there having fun and hanging out. I forgive you. No problem. And cannibalizing each other. I forgive you for that too. Eating each other, that's not your fault. It's not your fault that you saw your fellow man and you just said, you know what, I'm going to consume them. I'm going to rip them apart, even though I'm a spiritual individual who believes that we should do better amongst one another, and just consume my brethren. It's not your issue. Don't worry about it. I want to forgive the cavemen that also fought the Pilgrims and the Indians during that time, and using sticks and stones and building fire to destroy the history that we now teach to one another in our school systems. I want to thank the cavemen for that. I also want to thank my mom, my dad, for honoring me today at the Matthew Hawker Award ceremony. I couldn't be here without you guys. I want to accept this reward and let everyone know that if it weren't for all the history that is upon us right now, that is sprinkled beneath our feet like caviar and a rich person's mustache, we wouldn't have the beauty and the tranquility that the human path has brought to us over countless centuries and eons. Truly, humanity has a history of tranquility and peace and love, and we've never done anything violent to one another or cruel to one another. We are a beautiful people, all of us, and it's not as if we try to be this way. I mean, it's not as if, we try to shed blood. It's just the reality is we do. We shed blood because we have to, because we don't want our fellow man to shed our blood. And I think that's an interesting thing to consider. I think that's important for us to make a note on. So if you are following along the show and you're using your Matt Hawker journals, go ahead and pull that out and put a check mark next to that. We'll come back to that later on in the episode. Thank you.
So I want to talk about cavemen. I brought them up in the history lesson here, but a lot of people don't really understand the importance of cavemen and Thanksgiving. For example, the turkey that we all eat and celebrate today, the turkey actually comes from turkey legs, not actually turkeys. Turkeys are actually grown and grow from planted turkey legs in farmer soil. Back in the day, cavemen only had turkey legs as weapons in the continental U.S. as we know it today, and they fought off Native Americans and pilgrims using these weapons. A lot of people think they used sticks and stones, and that is also true, but that didn't come on until later on when the turkey leg eventually evolved into the stone, which is also how we have mountains and rocks and boulders today. So actually, generally if you crack open a rock, you'll find a little bit of turkey in there. And that is the root of Thanksgiving. We actually celebrate Thanksgiving with one another to thank the Native Americans and the Pilgrims for creating VHS tapes that we watched in elementary school where they ate dinner together. We wanted to thank them for that. If it weren't for their 2D graphic artists of the time, we wouldn't have VHS tapes that showed people of different orientation eating food at a wide table. And honestly, I almost want to say I feel bad for them because after all their hard work, they didn't really get a chance to show the whole story. After the Thanksgiving dinner, cavemen paraded onto the scene, beating and molesting and destroying and consuming everything until there was nothing left. And then eventually the cavemen evolved into modern America, which we have today. We are all descendants of cavemen. And that's truly miraculous. I don't really know what else to say about that other than it's good to know that we come from the Neanderthal. I feel better knowing that because the Neanderthal, I mean, just imagine what a thal is really. Let me go ahead and define thal for you. A thal is administratively subdivided into 2 union councils. It is separated from the North Waziristan Agency by the Karam River. Just something to consider about, just something to think about. That was sourced from Wikipedia. So I'm going to be real with you. I am one of those audio guys that reads Wikipedia. So for all of the college professors at home, sorry, pals, I'm going to source it. I do what I want when I want to, and sourcing Wikipedia is what I do. See, we all come from the Neanderthal, and what's interesting about that thal, and now that we're all aware of the definition, I want to add a new letter to that. We're going to add an R to that. The state of being in someone's power or having great power over someone. The Neanderthal had great power over all of us. Frankly, if we move the we move the R in ander into thal, we're going to get the Neanderthal. The Neanderthal was powerful. It knew that one day it would evolve into a modern hustle and bustle society like Chicago or Alabama. Hustle and bustle. So the Neanderthal was just all about, making sure that it had in its genes a way to tap back into all of us so it could mock us and be critical of us and laugh at us in the past by seeing how we messed up in the future and manipulating us through time-traveling voodoo mechanics that I can't possibly explain. It all goes back to the turkey leg. They would inject spears into these turkey legs, which would have crude faces drawn on them to represent people that we know and love today. Most famous presidents are, quite frankly, victims of the Neanderthal, and it's very unfortunate, and there's nothing I can do about it except talk to you guys about it on this show. It's upsetting for me and it's upsetting for you, but hey, we're an upset people, and that's just something we have to deal with. That was the sound the Neanderthal made to make sure that mystic voodooism was sought and brought into the gene pool. And unfortunately, it's in all of us, folks. I have no idea if I'm being controlled by a Neanderthal, and I don't know if you are either. But if you are, well, I hope you keep listening to the show because it's probably the one thing you're going to have to feel a little comfortable at night. Keep that in mind, folks. I don't understand New Hampshire. What's so new about it? Do you think time travelers would go back in time and, like people in the past were just kind of like aware of it? Like, I don't know, if I lived in the 1700s, I would probably think that some future dude was going to go back in time and just sort of, check things out, see what was going on, make sure everything was okay. I'm also of the opinion that most of our books that we read today that take place before maybe the 1960s were frankly people in the past being douches to time travelers. I mean, just ripping them a new one. Like, I mean, like some guy from, I don't know, I'm just going to go on a theory here. I'm going to say that we invented time travel in 1970s. I'm just going to be honest with you. I think we did. I think the government came up with it. And I think that's how we have advanced so quickly as we have, we do now. We just time travel to the future. We pick up a cool, like, goodie snacks. We bring them back. Give everyone Oreos, whatever. We do that kind of stuff. We make McDonald's, we get people obese, whatever. We do it. We make it happen. The Big Mac, that was definitely not, something that some guy just thought of. They went into the future and they brought that shit right back to us. So let's just say this, if I was living in the past, let's say a World War I era, and someone came back in time, I probably want to mess with them. Maybe I would like shoot some leader in the head or something and start a war or a pretend war. Maybe they come back, they see the trenches. It's probably just a bunch of dudes jerking off and like, making out or whatever. But, they see the time travel, like, oh crap, we got to pretend we're fighting. And then they just start duking it out. They throw like gas grenades. I mean, think about it. There was so much gas in World War I, you couldn't see anything. And there were so many trenches people were hiding. Let's be real here. In a real war, men don't sit in giant holes. They go out and they fight. They wrestle. They wrestle a little. That was all a facade. World War I didn't happen. It was exclusively made to make time travelers think people were interesting back then and to basically fill up history books. And I wouldn't be surprised if, college professors, history professors are like, oh shit, history's boring. And they went back in time and they like hired theater companies to put on these elaborate hoaxes of events that took place in the past. That makes sense to me. I would do the same thing. I can't blame them for doing that, honestly. That's their prerogative. I get it. But you know what? It works. It works. They've got us all reading all this crap. I think the Vietnam War happened. I don't know if the Vietnam War happened. I wasn't there. They got me thinking that like the American Revolution took place. They had me thinking that samurai were real. Who knows? We don't know. Dinosaur bones? Oh my gosh. We don't even know if those are dinosaur bones. Those could be KFC chicken bones. Those could be Oreo bones. Those could be Neanderthal bones. We don't know. We have no idea. We have no comprehension of what was there unless we were a time traveler. See, that's where it gets interesting. If I'm a time traveler, how would I know? If I was a time traveler history professor in a previous instance of my life, I would likely go back in time to erase my ability to know that so I could be shocked by all the history that I read about today. Which means that most of us probably are history professors, if not all of us. And if all of us are history professors, oh my God, I don't know what I'm talking about. Well, it's been an exciting time today. I've been scratching my inner thigh for about 15 minutes now. It's extremely itchy. I don't really know why it's itchy. There's like a worm that went in there and I've been trying to scratch it out and now it's probably digging into my bone. It's extremely painful actually, but I'm pretty sure it likes to eat human flesh and I'm pretty sure that that's what's happening right now. I really don't know what to do about that. It is probably some kind of leech that has evolved into another being capable of distorting me. But this is what I get for swimming in rivers and the great outdoors. It's my mistake, really. I have to own up to it. I'm going to victim blame myself here. I knew that the rivers were a little weird and I knew that there were some strange little leech slugs in there that probably ate people. And lo and behold, it's happening right now. And, I'm probably going to lose my left leg soon. I might lose the right. I don't know. I'm pretty sure the worm is going to like crawl through the leg once it's like consumed off of me or whatever, just drop it on the floor so we eat it in peace. Maybe I'll light it on fire. I don't know. To help it along. I mean, I don't think I'm going to light the worm on fire. I feel like that'd be a little weird. I mean, I don't even know if I should call it a worm. Is it a worm? Is it a leech? What? It's something. It's eating me. It's eating something. I mean, it's down there eating. Anyway, You can follow me on Twitter if you want to see what Twitter's all about. I'm on there. You can listen to me talk to some things and about the stuff. I'm also on Facebook, which I never use. And finally, I'm on Patreon. You can send me a new worm to eat my right leg if you would like. Finally, you can review the episodes on Podchaser, where you can review pods and chase them around screaming like a maniac with a bag over your head holding a baseball bat, hoping the kids don't notice as you chase down a piñata that was never there in the first place. That about sums it up today. Thank you for listening. Tune in next time where I talk about more of nothing. Tune in next time where I talk about more of me. Tune in next time where I talk about more of morgues. The morgiest of morgues in town. The morgues. Morgie McMorg, McMorgie More. The Morgue Mart. Morgie McMorman. Mormon McMorgie. The Morgingtons. Morgie, 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 Morg. Morg. Morg.